West Virginia Republicans don't just want to pass a bill to promote Christian nationalism. They want to change their entire state constitution, and they want to change the state constitution to reflect that the Holy Bible is like the greatest book in the universe. And obviously, what I just told you is completely illegal, what they're trying to do, but now they want to justify it. This is the text of House Joint Resolution 31. Let me share this with you here. This is what they want to change the Constitution to say. Article 2, recognition of Holy Bible as foundational text. The state of West Virginia recognizes the Holy Bible, complete with the 66 books of the Old and New Testaments, and definitely not like the Mormon third part of the trilogy, and not the apocryphal stuff, as the divinely inspired, inerrant foundational document for our society and government. An accurate historical record of human and natural history. Like, they want the Constitution to say Noah's Ark is literally true. And the utmost authority for human moral behavior. As such, the Holy Bible and its precepts shall be given a place of prominence and reverence in the public buildings, laws, policies, and schools of the state of West Virginia. Now, why are they doing this? I think the simple answer is, all the times we talk about Christian nationalism and like putting the 10 Commandments in public schools, and in Oklahoma trying to get the Bibles in schools, what happens is those things get shot down by the courts. Why do they get shot down by the courts? Because the courts always say, well, the Constitution says separation of church and state. It says the state cannot promote religion, it's neutral, etc. If they could get this passed, that the state of West Virginia says the Bible is sacrosanct or whatever, it would provide a rationale, like the foundation, so that they can pass other forms of Christian nationalism. And they could be like, well, we want to put the 10 Commandments up in school, and it's legal because our Constitution says the Bible rules. That's what this is about. It's creating a way to get out of judges, get away from judges who keep saying, well, the Constitution says this. And they're like, well, what if we made the Constitution also say this? And then it would screw up all the judges, right? That's the idea behind this. But of course, there are a lot of problems with the way this text is worded. It says the state of West Virginia recognizes the Holy Bible. Which one? There are many translations, and not all Christians believe all of them are the same, right? You can't just say the Bible. You got to say which type of Bible. Is it the KJV? Is it the NIV? Which one do you want? This idea that it's divinely inspired. By who? Which God? Are you telling me? Like, is this an amendment that says Christianity is real and the government's going to work off of that as a basis? Because there goes religious freedom. Because you're saying it's divinely inspired, you're implying that Christianity is true. It says it's inerrant. I mean, that's just dumb. Everyone can name contradictions in the Bible, things that start on page 1, right? The order of how God created the universe is not inerrant. It doesn't make any sense. The accurate historical record, obviously, it's not accurate history. Nothing in the book of Genesis actually happened. It could not have happened. That's not how it happened. But if they did that, you can imagine how they could then say, well, we need to adjust science curriculum across the state and history classes and what they teach, because it's got to be in sync with what the Holy Bible says happened. And obviously, utmost authority for human moral behavior, that of course is justification for them to do like an abortion ban and get rid of marriage equality and all that stuff, because it's always a right-wing interpretation of morality. They're not talking about the Sermon on the Mount. They're talking about Leviticus. So anyway, that's what they're trying to do in West Virginia by getting this thing passed. I was curious. Last week, I made a video about the Pew Research Center's religious landscape study, huge study of religion across the country. I was curious what they said about West Virginia, and I looked it up. Check this out. In West Virginia, how important is the Bible among adults in West Virginia? Only 52% of West Virginians said the Bible is extremely or very important. 28% said like, no, not really, not at all. And 19% are in the middle. Like, almost half of the people in the state, in the reddest state in the country, pretty much, almost half the people are like, yeah, I don't care about the Bible. And yet the Republicans in the legislature are like, you know what we should do? Let's override the entire Constitution with this. And who's going to stop us? Because we're all Republicans here. Like even in West Virginia, I think this is going to be a hard sell because there will be lawsuits over this. I think this entire thing, it's a solution to a problem that doesn't exist and one that only creates more problems. So look, this is a constitutional amendment. It's got a long way to go. Like it has to get 2/3 support from the House and the Senate in West Virginia. Then it's got to be voted on by the voters. This is assuming there are no lawsuits trying to stop this along the way. There absolutely would be. So long way to go. But I don't think they're doing this because they think it's going to pass. They're doing this to send a message. And the message is that when you live in West Virginia and it's a state run by Republicans, we obey the Bible in this state and the Constitution can go to hell. And if people are going to insist we keep the Constitution around, we're going to change the Constitution to say, I'm subservient to the Bible. And all of us are. And we all live under those rules and not whatever else the Constitution says. Just a dumb idea, but also pretty much what you expect out of West Virginia. So this bill was introduced just last week. It is currently in the hands of the House Judiciary Committee. They will decide if this bill can even move forward. And if it does, it may very well get the votes it needs. That doesn't mean the voters will go for it, even if lawmakers will. But just something to keep an eye on. What other questions we got here? I'd love to see all the different Christian denominations fighting about which version of their book is the one that is inerrant. Seriously, that's a better version of Squid Game. That is what we should do. Put them all in a circle, let them duke it out, and if your translation loses, you're out of the game. 52% seems like a lot, a bit terrifying. It is a lot. It's definitely a lot. But in West Virginia, I feel like I would have predicted that number to be a lot higher.